Good morning, students. Welcome all of you to today's class. Today we are going to discuss some remaining parts or the principles in the chapter Theory Base of Accounting. Okay, so last class we discussed some of the concepts and principles. Today we'll discuss some other principles. So the principles which we discussed in the previous class was business entity principles, money measurement principle, accounting period principles. So these three principles we discussed and some concepts also we discussed. Okay, now business entity concept, concept, all those things also we discussed. Okay, now other principles, that is principle of full disclosure, principle of materiality, principle of conservatism or prudence, then historical cost principle, matching principle, and dual aspect principles. So just check one by one. First is principle of full disclosure. So what this principle says is all significant information related to the economic affairs of the enterprise should be completely disclosed. So whatever economic informations, whatever most important information, that should be disclosed properly in the accounting statements or financial statements. Okay, so generally in financial statements means uh, profit and loss account and balance sheet. Even after that also we prepare some cash flow statements, fund flow statements, analysis, so many things we do. Okay, so what here we are saying is you have to disclose all important information to the user so that it will convey some meaning and information, useful information to the users. So users of accounting information already we discussed, they are internal users and external users also there. So whoever have interest in the business, whoever are the stakeholders of the business, they can have a check on the informations provided in front of him, or they can have a meeting with all the employees and a board of directors or general managers. All people can sit together and closely watch what is happened in the 1 year business. So that time all material informations or economic informations should be properly disclosed in the books of accounts. Okay, so what we can, some items, no, it may have a remote possibility of arising in future. वो liability बाद में आएगा और नहीं आएगा, ऐसा भी चांस है कुछ चीज. So that also actually we can include. Okay, so for example, like what we can exposure of items, just we discuss the contingent liabilities. Okay, so contingent liabilities means any liability which may arise in future, which may or may not arise in future. Suppose if any case is pending against the business, some customers filed case against the business. If that case is pending, we don't know what will happen. The case may be against the business or in favor of business. So if it is against the business has to pay compensation to that particular customer. Okay, so that time that liability arise and we have to pay compensation in money or in the way of goods also. So that is a liability for the business, but that liability is not existing now, though, so that may arise in future. So that type of liabilities are known as what? Contingent liabilities. Contingent liabilities. Normal liabilities means, you know, the amount which we have to pay to outsiders, that is called liabilities. Contingent liabilities are those liabilities which we have to pay, may or may not arise in future. That liabilities are known as what? Contingent liabilities, that we have to disclose in the financial statements. Any contingent liabilities existing in the business, any case, anything is there in the business, we have to disclose it properly in the financial statements. Okay, next is valuation of stock, or providing depreciation, provision for doubtful debts, all these things and all. Actually, to tell this, we have to study a separate chapter reserve, then only you will understand this. Okay, so just you understand valuation of stock means, you know, closing stock or opening stock. So this year end, what is unsold items are there, that is called what? Closing stock. So that closing stock actually we have to put in the profit and loss account at a cost price or market price, whichever is less. Cost price means purchase price. Suppose the stock which is remaining is purchased for rupees 5,000. So this 5,000 is called what? Cost price. Then market price is the present market price of that product, maybe 6,000. So this stock, if you sell in the market, you will be getting 6,000. So stock valuation methods are there. So usually we value the stock cost price or market price, whichever is less. So in this, out of these two amounts, which is less, 5,000 is less. That means cost price is less. So that method we are following 1 year, and next year if you are following another method, so that should be, that change of method of valuation of stock should be mentioned in the financial statements. That is a full disclosure, understood? No? So like that method of providing depreciation, so there are written down value method, fixed installment method. Like that depreciation we charge. Depreciation means reduction in the value of assets. A separate chapter itself there, depreciation, that we will study later. Okay, so if you are providing depreciation under a particular method this year and you change method next year, that also should be disclosed properly in the books of accounts. Okay, just like that only. May provision for doubtful debts also. So doubtful debts means those debtors upon them we have doubt that they will make payment or not. Okay, some customers are there, they purchase from us on credit, but later they are not making payment to us, so that is loss for us. So to cover that loss, we can set aside some amount from our pocket. Okay, be just like that. Suppose your friend borrowed from you 10 rupees and he paid back you 5 rupees, and the another 5 he is not paying to you. Then but you have to pay this 10 rupee to your parent. So what you can do, he is not paying to you, no, so you can put from your pocket the another 5 rupee, and plus 5 plus 5 already he gave that, you can submit to your parents. So just like that, whatever debtors, whoever debtors are there, if that people are making default, we can keep money from our own business to make over that loss, make good that loss. Okay, so that is called what? Provision for debtors. Okay, all these things we will study, don't worry. So what I am saying is, like this, all important informations should be disclosed in the books of accounts. Okay, next is market value of investment should be given by way of footnotes. So any market value of investments means, we can invest our money as a fixed deposit in bank or in government securities or in other shares, debentures. So anywhere we can deposit our money. But when you deposit like this, sometimes that is asset for us. Okay, in our for our business, any investment you make, that is assets. So that those assets value or investment value may decrease or increase. So whatever it is happening, you have to show separately in the books of accounts. So full disclosure means that only, whatever important informations like these contingent liabilities, any pending case, stock valuation methods, provision for depreciation, provision for doubtful debts, investment valuation, all those things we have to disclose in the financial statements. Okay, now second principle, second नहीं उसके बाद में principle of materiality. According to this principle, items having an insignificant effect or being irrelevant to the user need not be disclosed. Okay, materiality. First we are saying you disclose everything, but now they are saying don't disclose everything, only material things you disclose. So what do you mean by material? An item should be regarded as material if there is a reason to believe that knowledge of it would influence decision of informed investors. Okay, here off is there. So what is material and immaterial? Immaterial things means what? What is useful for making decisions? That things are called what? Material. So if you are writing all those items, but so those pins, small stationaries, pens, papers, all those things are no that is not a factor or items that never determines profit or loss of your business. So that type of unimportant things, unimportant items, or some meeting is going on, you have paid refreshment to the all the members, those who attended the meeting. So that is an immaterial thing, you spend money there, but uh, that money should be recorded or not, that should be shown or not, that is depends on the organization. Okay, if it is a small organization, maybe that expenditure also they have to show because that is important for them. But for big companies and all, they may keep separate method or separate money for that and all, they will not include in the main accounting system. Understood? No. So what is material, what is immaterial, that depends on the forms of organization or size of organization. So any decision or any decision making factor is there, any important factor is there, that we can call as what, material. So it should be noted that what is material for one concern may be immaterial for another. That is what I told you. So if you are giving refreshment for a small concern, that amount what you are spending may be an important thing, but for a large organization it is an unimportant factor. Understood? So that depends on the organization we can show. So that is called what, materiality. Now next is principle of conservatism or prudence. So what this principle is saying, all anticipated losses should be recorded in the books of accounts, but all anticipated or unrealized gains should be ignored. Okay, so in simple way I can say, suppose next month one marriage is there, then what I can do, from this month's salary itself I can save some amount for to meet that expenditure on marriage. Okay, that I can do. But if one person promised me that I'll give you 10,000 rupees next month, he has to give me, but he is saying I will give you next month 10,000 rupee he will give. So if I'm anticipating that and waiting for it, then if he's not paying, I'll be in trouble. Okay, so just like that. But marriage case, next month I'll be happy because this month itself, from this month salary itself, I separated some amount to meet that marriage expenditures. Correct? No? So this way, whatever expenses are there from for the business, anticipated expense those can come afterwards, that can happen afterwards also. For that also you can keep money, that is safe for you. But anticipated income, वो income मिलेगा करके सोचकर अभी खर्चा करना नहीं, मतलब income you will be getting next month, you are thinking that, and by anticipating that if you are spending so much this month, if you are not getting that income that time, then you will be in trouble. Okay, so this principle is known as what, principle of conservatism. So all business organizations usually follow this principle of conservatism or prudence. So if any remote chance for any expense also, then we can include it. But for income, unless it is not received, not realized, आपके हाथ में पैसे आना आया नहीं तो उसको record नहीं करना है. But when we make credit sales, we have to record it because that is stock is going out, so we have to record it. But other things I am saying, suppose somebody is promising you to pay money to you. Okay, somebody is promising you that they will pay money to you, so that should not be recorded. Okay, after receiving only you have to record it. So this is called what, principle of conservatism or prudence. So this one, closing stock is valued at cost price or market price, whichever is less. Provision for doubtful debts, creation against bad debts, etc. So closing stock we can value at cost price or market price, that I told you, no, that way we can do. So market price whichever is less, so less डालने से क्या होगा, you are showing your profit less, but if you get more by selling that product afterwards, that stock afterwards, it will be beneficial for you. Okay, so to understand these things and all, example and all, you need actually some more knowledge that you will get after this year only. Okay, so this policy or this principle we can say as what, it is playing safe. Playing safe means what? Provide for all anticipated losses or expense, but don't record any anticipated income. Now, next is historical cost principle. Historical cost principles means all assets are recorded in the books at its it is in I is there in the books at its purchase price. This cost is the basis of valuation of financial statements. So, historical cost principle means whatever assets you are purchasing in the business, that you record it in the purchase price only. Suppose today 2000 August or September 4 I am purchasing a machine for rupees 10 lakh. So what I am writing is 10 lakh rupees. So installation, whatever charge, everything I included and added, it is coming how much? 10 lakhs rupees I am writing. Okay, but next year also it will be continuously I am writing about how much, this 10 lakh rupee only. Or if depreciation is there, suppose 1 lakh depreciation, then that depreciation means what? Reduction in the value of asset. 1 lakh after 1 year, this machine is old. How much old it is, that value we have to calculate under different method. That is what I told you, depreciation. Okay, so suppose 1 lakh is depreciation you are assuming, so from 10 lakh 1 lakh you can minus. So how much? 9 lakh will be the new value. So that 9 lakhs will go to the balance sheet. Clear? So like this, no, only the based on the purchase price we will be recording the details or the assets value. We will not take out the change in the value of assets. Means suppose this 10 lakh we purchase, next year the same machine value is 12 lakh in the market, but that 12 lakh should not be recorded. Money value change in or market price when change, we should not record it here in the financial statements, because it will affect the entire accounting process. Okay, so that is why it is known as what? Historical cost. Means cost what is incurred already, what we spent already in the past. That's why it is known as historical cost. So what, how much you are really spending for something, that only you have to record in the books. Any money change or any inflation deflation is happening, that should not be recorded. That is actually a demerit of accounting. So next principle is matching principle. So this is an important principle. Matching principle means what should match is expense and revenue. So this is for expense and revenue. So whatever money you are spending for this year, that should match with the benefit which you are getting this year. Okay, that means the cost of a particular period should match with the revenue earned during that period. So for example, I'm seeing 12 months salary. So 12 months salary means it is starting from April to March. Okay, so April salary, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So all these 12 months salary we spend for this year. Okay, so that 12 month salary you have to show in this year's books of accounts or financial statements, even though the March salary is paid in the month of April of next year. Correct? No, suppose 2020, this March is coming under 2021, but March salary, first we work in the March, so March salary will receive when? In the month of April. But even though we are paying the salary in the month of April, the March salary you have to include in this year only, not in the next year. Okay, so this is called the cost incurred. The salary is the cost or the expense of this year. From that expense we are spending money to the employees as salary, and they worked there, we got benefit from that. So the expense which we are spending should match with the benefit of that particular year. Okay, means this year expense and this year income should match each other, it should be connected each other. When an item included in profit and loss account, all expenses incurred on it, whether paid or not, should be shown as expenses in the profit and loss account. Example, outstanding expense. अभी देखो 3 months का salary नहीं दिया इस साल का. Okay, so suppose January, February, March, 3 months salary not paid. but next year they paid it when April or May month 2021 April they paid. So April, when April comes, it is next year ho gaya. April to March is our accounting period. Next year April means again that April belongs to next financial year. सो दिस इस साल का सैलरी नेक्स्ट ईयर का नेक्स्ट अकाउंटिंग पीरियड में दे दिया तो उस साल में डालना नहीं. दिस वी हैव टू एंटिसिपेट दैट आल्सो एंड वी हैव टू पुट दिस ईयर ओनली. Okay, so that type of expenses are called what? Outstanding expenses. Expenses which belongs to this year but not yet paid, not paid for this year, that is called what? Outstanding expenses. Suppose, okay, suppose 10 months salary is 10,000, another 2 months salary not yet paid, but even then you have to show 2 months salary 2,000. So total this year you have to show how much? 12,000. This one, this 2,000 we call it as outstanding, means that is not yet paid, but still you have to show this year, correct? Then all expense paid for next year in advance. So any expense same way. So sometimes we pay in advance. Suppose insurance premium of next year we paid this year. Then what to do? You have to minus it because that belongs to next year. Understood? No. So one thing you remember, all expense and income of a particular financial year should be included in that year itself. Okay. If you are paying any amount for next year, this year, then that should be deducted. If you are not paying any amount this year, then you have to add it and show. Okay, all these things when we solve practical questions, you will understand. Now next is dual aspect principle. So dual aspect means we know debit and credit. So all accounting transactions, and as per the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, all accounting transactions are recorded as per dual aspect concept. Okay, so that this is the main principle of accounting. Actually this one we have to study very carefully, and each transaction, any transaction you take, that have two aspects, that is debit and credit. One aspect will be debit and the other aspect will be debit and credit. Okay, so when we follow this system of accounting, that is known as what? Double entry system of accounting. So when we follow debit credit, suppose the owner invested money in the business, so there are two aspects we can say. One is what? Cash, we can say. One aspect is cash, another aspect is capital. Okay, so one aspect is cash and another aspect is capital. So one will be debited, another will be credited. So that debit credit rule and all we discuss later. So purchase of goods. So purchase the goods for cash. Their purchase will be on an aspect, cash paid. So cash is another aspect. Like that, no? Each transaction wise we have to identify the debit, which one is what is debit, what is credit. That you have to identify and write the record the transaction in journal. Recording of transaction we do in journal. Okay, so that is why if you follow this debit credit rule, double entry system of accounting, then what will happen? Your balance sheet will tally, your accounting equation will tally. So accounting equation is what? Assets is equal to liabilities plus capital. So this is the last principle. So these are the principles. You can once again revise the first principle, first video also. Okay, so this is over now. I hope you understood. Any doubt you can send to me. Thank you so much. Bye. Take care.